What is going on, guys? It is the Zoomer Value Investor here to talk to you guys today about a really interesting opportunity in the pharmacy, biopharma space. And it's going to be two stocks in particular, Regeneron and AstraZeneca. Now, really interesting here, Regeneron, as you can see, on a generational run. Honestly, if you look at the 5 years without the drop, they were up about 243% in the last 5 years, well overperforming, indexes, everything of that nature. I think possibly even with the drop, they still are, this is crazy. A double in the last 5 years, that's still really good. Granted that you had a drop from all-time high, brought your stock down over 40%. So about 43% down from all-time high, guys, on Regeneron. Honestly, this is a behemoth of a company in the biopharma space. Really surprising seeing them drop this vigorously. Really famous for the antibody cocktail during the CV-19 pandemic and things of that nature. So a very, very critically important biopharma company. The other one here, we got AstraZeneca. Now this one from all-time highs down about 22%. Now, going to go into why this is, and I think these are huge, huge opportunities. I see both of these as companies trading at worst at fair value and more than likely with a margin of safety. So I want to talk a little bit about Regeneron first. Now, Eyelea, the high-dose Eyelea came in at a reported 392 million sales. This fell short of the projected 415 to 425 million range. So this is really going to bring into concern Eylea's market position, because there was another concurrent news during this time that I think really also drove the stock much down further, was some biosimilar competition coming in from Amgen, right? So Amgen, they got through all of the legal challenges of biosimilarity, and they're going to look to put out a drug or a treatment called aflibercept, right? So that's very similar to what Eyelea, works for, and that could compete in the space. So Eyelea, it's Eyelea, it's approximately like 41% of the revenues, but the high dose is approximately like 10%. Remember, the issue with the revenue scare was really with the high dose one. We need more info, because that was the Q3 numbers. So we need more info to come out about how regular Eyelea is doing to get a better position of where Eyelea is in the the general sentiment with market share and going forward. But just remember that, really the issues with the high dose Eyelea, regular Eyelea is not as the revenue and stuff. It does bring into position. Okay, yeah, Eyelea, its dominance in the market very much in question. But because high dose Eyelea is having issues, does this warrant a 40% drop on the value of the company? Questionable, right? Is this a market overreaction? That's kind of what I lean into thinking. And then you got to also keep in mind here, global net sales really, that comes from like other things, right? So Dupixent, right? Or dupilumab. Remember, MAB, this means monoclonal antibody. Remember, I talk a lot about AbCellera. They had a really famous product called bamlanivimab, right? So monoclonal antibody. That's what that means. Regeneron, probably one of the best companies in the world for monoclonal antibodies. Far ahead of most other biopharma companies out there when it comes to working with that kind of stuff. And, their global net sales on that is over double of what it is for regular dose Eyelea. If you combined Eyelea and high dose Eyelea, then it'd probably be like, okay, with the combined Eyelea, high dose Eyelea, then double that. Then that's what, the Dupixent sales would be like. Then Libatio, that's the marketed name, but it's actually another monoclonal antibody, Semiplimab, right? So, and that's about 7.8% of revenue, more or less, with a global sale of 289 million. So get an idea, kind of, it's like, yeah, there's issues with Regeneron's revenues. Most importantly, like Eylea's position, Amgen's looking to put out a pretty strong product that is going to compete with Eyelea. But does this warrant a over 43% drop on a very dominant company, which is in a very exciting sector of biopharma? That is, well ahead of other people when it comes to putting out monoclonal antibodies that are widely used into the market. I think this is a market overreaction, guys, and I think this is a good opportunity to enter in on a one of the most dominant biopharma companies in the space, right? And you don't see this too often, right? You got to keep in mind this drop really happened since August, right? So this is, more or less been like a 3 or 4 month kind of like drop in the making. So I think this is really starting to floor out. You don't want to catch falling knives. Yeah, guys, that's true. But you can kind of see this pattern, how the drops are kind of getting smaller and smaller. It really is starting to floor out. Never ever offering financial advice on this channel, but I think Regeneron looks really, really good here. Going on to AstraZeneca. Now, this one's really interesting here. As I said, about 22% down from all-time highs, but I think it's in a really, really good position going forward. The main issue with AstraZeneca is 13% of its revenues come from China, and it's getting a lot of legal scrutiny from China right now. Chinese lawmakers saying bad practices and things of that nature. Oftentimes, this is a lot of yap and stuff. It kind of sometimes blows over. Sometimes actually something does happen. But keep in mind, at 13% of revenues, it would be a ton of love lost if fallout did happen with AstraZeneca in China. Remember, this is mostly a biopharma that's going to operate in the westernized world anyway. So, that's just my take on the situation. As well, we got lung cancer data that came out in September for some lung cancer drug that was not good. It really didn't show any kind of improvement in survivability. So that's not a good sign, but this is going to happen all the time in biopharma, where you're going to have stuff that just kind of falls through, doesn't really come out as well as you would like. The way I see it is AstraZeneca is kind of a behemoth. It's kind of a amazing opportunity to build out a position here at a drop like this. You buy the stock at the same price pretty much going back to 2022, guys, or honestly more like pretty much like 2020 or 2021. So that's how I see it. I see this as a really amazing opportunity to build up equity in that kind of company. Plus just, getting some good biopharma exposure. It's a sector I'm really kind of optimistic on. I think if you look at the biotechnology index, right? I think it's a situation where it's kind of dropped a lot and it's kind of being widely ignored. But anyway, look here at some valuation metrics for AstraZeneca. Really interesting, guys. Like, look at this. Last 12-month price of earnings, for example, of 16 right now. And then if you go back, it kind of floors out there. Typically trades more like mid-20s. Again, I'm highlighting this here in the yellow. Is the one I'm really trying to look at here right now, and now it's in blue. But as you can see, guys, it normally trades more like mid-20s, and that's why I think it's a really good time to really get in here. Obviously, not everything chalks up to PE, but you can look at all these valuation metrics, right? Like price of sales. All this is kind of in line with it being at a historical low when you look at the historical valuation of the company. And it's a well-run company. We're going to take a look at the balance sheet as well. And we're going to get an idea of, how well they manage their assets, how well they manage their liabilities. And it's a well-run company. Okay, I apparently can't access that here. But I guess we could go to Yahoo Finance and pull it up. Yeah, let's go pull it up on Yahoo Finance. As you can see here, guys, total assets up here and then total debt over here. Kind of gets you guys an idea of where they're at. It's a well-ran balance sheet. They're not going to take on too much debt that they can't handle. They're a, international pharma company, one of the biggest in the world. And, I wouldn't be talking about it if it was a poorly ran balance sheet. This is so important to me as a value investor, just making sure that this is, realistic, right? So, okay. Anyway, let's talk about Regeneron, right? So circling back to Regeneron, going to look at the balance sheet of Regeneron here. Now, as we can see here, assets over here, and then total assets there. I hate clicking. Okay. And then liabilities right there, guys. So, it's one of those companies where they're not taking on too much debt. I don't see a stressed out company debt-wise. Yes, the drop is more or less what I see is this is an overreaction about the Eyelea sentiment. This is also people maybe worried about things such as change in administration, like legal legal fears. I know stuff about like RFK is going to head the HHS, and he'd be in charge of the FDA. People are fearing that'd be harder maybe for biopharma companies to do business in that kind of administration. A lot of that is FUD, guys. Don't read into that. Remember, I would say sideline most of all of political thoughts when it comes to analyzing companies. And, I really just would view this as a sentimental drop and a buying opportunity on a behemoth of a biopharma. Just one last thing I wanted to cover with y'all, or I guess I don't think we went over the historical valuation of Regeneron, so I'm going to show that very briefly. We have a lot of data for this one, which is awesome. Ticker Terminal, guys, amazing. I'm not sponsored by them, but amazing, almost like Bloomberg-like software, essentially. It's phenomenal. So, and this is for free. I'm a Zoomer. I don't got a ton of capital, so I get to work with this for free. It's amazing. So, as you can see here, guys, look at this price of sales. Lowest it's ever been. It's below 5 right now. Only happened a few times in history, probably in late 2021. It was that way most of 2021. I think that's because our revenue was so high in 2021. Maybe that's why their price of sales went down. But as you can see here, guys, it's definitely in a position where it's never ever really been valuated this low by the market. I think it really brings into position an exciting time. But as you can see here, the tangible book value per share has actually been increasing throughout the years. So, despite the drop in the stock price, when your tangible book value per share has been increasing throughout the years, and then on top of that, you get a, maybe like a quote unquote artificial drop in the stock price, it's going to make the stock a lot more attractive, especially to value investors, because then that's going to drive the valuation metrics a lot closer to, a lower tangible book value, per share, or I'm sorry, like, a lower ratio for the book value per share, right? So, going to be really interesting being able to buy these companies at these lower prices. And last thing I wanted to cover is Biotech. Now, this is a company I actually got out of. As you see here, there's a little triple top pattern here. I got out on one. I think it was this triple top when it was around like 120 or above 120. Went ahead and got out of this one. It was about break even for me. This is one of the first stocks I talked about on this channel. And I think I got into it more or less around like here, started buying it, bought it to a cost average around 120 through, all this. And it's just mRNA technology has ran into so many hiccups, and it's going to be another maybe 5. I was just early. I was early. I was excited. I was early, and it didn't really fall through in the way I'd like. We didn't get the price action I would like, but at the same time, I'm more or less getting out of this break even, and I'm getting more exciting opportunities on companies I'm very, very bullish on, Regeneron and AstraZeneca now. So essentially, break even, the opportunity cost, this money would have done much better in something like VTI or a index fund. However, I'm getting out of it break even. I do lose the opportunity costs, but I don't have any loss or anything. However, I have much better position to realign this money into new biopharma investments that I think have dropped way, way, way to exciting levels for us value investors to take advantage. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. I am the Zoomer Value Investor signing out. Peace.